And the truth is, Pence is not and has never been a friend of the gay community.
John Oliver took a break from targeting President Donald Trump on Sunday and instead focused his fire on Vice President Mike Pence and his ultra-conservative views. And for good measure, he announced a parody children's book to take on one released by the Pences. On his HBO show, The Last Week Tonight host began by describing the Vice President as an ashen weasel, which he called the opposite of whatever a silver fox is. Oliver then ran through his public statements on issues such as abortion rights, homosexuality, same-sex marriage, gays in the military, and even women in the military, all of which fell towards the more extreme conservative end of the spectrum. Oliver reminded the audience that Pence is the only person Trump can't fire and could become president by default. He joked that former White House advisor Omarosa Manigault-Newman was right when she warned fellow contestants in the Celebrity Big Brother house that, as bad as y'all think Trump is, you would be worried about Pence.
But he thinks Jesus tells him to say things that are good. I'm like, Jesus, I say that.
Oliver then focused on Pence's views on homosexuality in particular and his continued association with controversial groups that back gay conversion therapy, like James Dobson's Focus on the Family.
While Pence may claim that he did not and does not support gay conversion therapy, he very much supports those who support it.
Then talk turned to the Pence family's pet rabbit, Marlon Bundo, a name that even Oliver had to admit is pretty great.
And Marlon Bundo is a great rabbit. He has his own Instagram account. Here he is making an important phone call.
The bunny has become something of a celebrity since he arrived at the White House, and this week saw the release of a children's book of his adventures, written by Pence's daughter Charlotte and illustrated by his wife Karen, titled Marlon Bundo's Day in the Life of the Vice President. Oliver pulled his own rabbit out of a hat, so to speak, by announcing the release of his own competing book called A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo. The book, which is available now via PDF, is an effort to blunt the potential success of the Pence's book and tells the story of a White House rabbit who falls in love with another rabbit called Wesley and how, despite the odds and bigotry, they marry. There is also an audio version of A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo featuring the voice talents of Jim Parsons, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, Ellie Kemper and RuPaul. Plus, John Lithgow plays an ill-tempered, bigoted stinkbug, a thinly veiled nod to Pence himself. By Monday, Oliver's book was topping Amazon's bestseller list, and all of the proceeds are going to the Trevor Project, a non-profit organisation which focuses on suicide prevention in the young LGBTQ community, and AIDS United, which works to end the AIDS epidemic in the United States.
This isn't some adult book telling Mike Pence to go fuck himself, although in buying it, that's exactly what you would be doing.
To watch the full Last Week Tonight segment, head to THR.com, and to buy your own copy of Oliver's A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo, you can head to betterbundobook.com. For the Hollywood Reporter News, I'm Lindsay Rodriguez.